So I have to can onions, caramelized onions as is, jam, and I also have some pickled onions to do. So that's a lot of chopping. And I was told, well, I read on another channel, I think it was the 1870 Homestead, a viewer commented this: using a fan to push away the onion vapors, I guess, away so that you won't cry like a baby. Let's see if this works. I have 20 pounds of onions, yellow onions. I am keeping 6 for another recipe, which is French onion soup. I probably won't even be able to do more than 2 recipes today. I am doing caramelized onions jam, and then that's water bath canning, which is delicious. And then I'm doing just simple pressure canning caramelized onions, and this is the first time I do that. I should have 6 pounds of that, and I will be doing them in the little jars so that I can add them to meals. And I am trying out in my roaster, so this is the first time I'm doing a lot of onions roasted in my roaster. From what I understand, I saw another person doing it. It's going to take a long time, but at least I won't be using the oven like I won't be sitting in front of the oven all, like, I think it's like 30 minutes, more than that, to caramelize onions. So I'm going to let my roaster do all the work for me in a big batch. If I was to do it on the oven, it probably would take me 2 hours with all the onions that I have, because I only have like 2 pans that I can cook onions for a very long time. So it would be time consuming. So I'm gonna choose to try it in the roaster. So I am winging this and trying something new. If you don't remember, I did a grocery haul a week ago, about stuff I got at the farm, and the 20 pounds of the onions is where I got them. They do not come from my garden. I wish I was able to grow onions this size. I had 1 or 2 that were big, and then some of them were this size, and the rest were like a little bit smaller than golf balls. But it's okay. I got 25 pounds out of the garden, and I'm really super happy about that. Let's get chopping and hope, cross my fingers, I'm not gonna cry. Okay, the fan's set up. Let's try this. After reading more carefully the onion soup recipe, it's pretty straightforward. Once the onions are cooked, I can just use 1 cup per pint, because the recipe's about 8 cups of cooked onions you need. I could just keep 8 cups, and then the rest would be for my recipe. So now what I'm doing is I'm just peeling the onions, removing what seems to be blemishes, bad spots. I did have some onions that were going bad, so I took out some of my onions that I had left from my garden, and I'm just replacing the amount of what was rotten, well, starting to rot. And it seems to help the fan. It seems to help. I am still like my eyes are itchy. but it seems to do something good. But I haven't started chopping yet. So I can't say it's a success just yet. I'll let you know at the end of the video. As I am slicing my onions, my butter is melting inside the roaster. My butter was frozen. I couldn't find a specific answer online how much butter I needed for 20-ish pounds of onions. So I eyeballed half a cup, and I'm gonna note all of this so that when next year, or if ever I redo this winter, because you know, maybe I'll find deals. It's important to write notes of the recipes you're doing so that you don't think you're gonna remember. I have a tendency of doing that, and I'm terrible. And I am just slicing the onions really quickly, roughly, because I do have 20 pounds to chop. I filled the roaster, and I still have 8 pounds here. I'm not sure it's all gonna fit, and 8 pound is exactly what I need for another recipe. So either I take out the crock pot, or I'll have to do it on the oven. So I decided to use 1 cast iron and divide the 8 pounds I had in like 4 or 5 batches, because I do have other stuff to do. Eating, dishes, preparing all these jars for these 3 recipes. So I think I'm gonna need about 14 half pints, which is 1 cup, 8 pints, which is 2 cups each, and then I have no idea how much I'm gonna need for the just simple caramelized onion, and I'm gonna do that also in half pints. So I'm just using 1 cast iron, a bit of olive oil every time I dump it in there, and then put a timer 15 minutes. Make sure that nothing sticks, and same thing with my roaster. I am making sure that nothing burns in the bottom, so I make sure that that one doesn't stick, make sure this one doesn't stick, and I'm probably gonna have like 4 or 5 batches of 15 minutes. And then at least with this, by doing this way, I know I said I was not gonna do it on my stove, but at least one of my recipes will be done faster, and then the 2 pressure canning recipes, I can either do them later on tonight or first thing in the morning tomorrow morning, because it's probably going to take many hours in the roaster to cook. So I'm about halfway done with these, and once all of this is cooked, I'll be doing the jam, which is really simple. Once all the onions are caramelized, this is where I'm going to add my sugar, my balsamic vinegar, my salt, my pepper, and my herbs, and let it simmer a little bit until it thickens. So 3 cups of sugar, same amount of balsamic vinegar, as for herbs, I did a tablespoon of rosemary dried, a tablespoon of thyme dried, 4 teaspoons of salt, and 2 teaspoons of pepper. And that brings up the last of the ingredients, and then you can put all of that, cook it, and then store it in your fridge. But I am canning it, and I will be water bathing this after it has thickened to the what I prefer. I'm gonna can it for 10 minutes because of my elevation is like standard. If your elevation is different, you're gonna have to up the processing time. My second recipe, which is a soup, requires about 8 cups. So I took that out, And the rest is now doing its thing in the roaster, and it's going pretty fast, so I might be able to do the 3 recipes today. So I'm just gonna finish up the second recipe, and then I'm just gonna do like a conventional beef broth. It says that I need 12 cups of broth, a bit of wine, bay leaf, thyme, parsley, and garlic powder, and salt. So, and then I'm gonna pressure can it for 75 minutes. No, sorry, 60 minutes. The videos after that did not work, and then the kids arrived from school, and I wanted to finish canning before doing dinner, so it got hectic really fast. So I managed to can everything yesterday, so it gave me 13 1-cup size of jam, and then I was able to do 9 soup, and this was pressure canned. And I don't remember if I said the pressure canning time. I think I did, 60 minutes for that. And then whatever was left over, I decided just to do regular caramelized onion. And I got 5 little jars like this. So that was a bummer. I wanted more. So that means I have to go at least buy another 10 pounds of onions so I can get more caramelized onions in the pantry. So that I did not film, so I just filled the jars, 1 inch of headspace, and then I processed these for 70 minutes in the pressure canner. So this is not a high acid food, so it has to be done in the pressure canner. The only one that was water bath was the jam, because we added that balsamic vinegar in the recipes. Therefore, that's why we were able to water bath the jars. And I did sterilize my jars, so it was hot jars, before I put the jam in it. So that was it. 20 pounds of onions gave me all of this. Let's hope that we have enough for the winter. The soup, my husband was really thrilled, and he probably is hoping that I'm going to do another batch, but we shall see. What I did see about these is they suggest the 1 liter jar to be for dinners, and the 500 mLs to be incorporated in like roasts, beef roast, pork roast, and crock pot style meal. I do use the jam, so it's going to give me an opportunity of trying both and see what I want. And one night, if we feel like eating soup and the kids feel like eating, like, I don't know, cheese sandwiches or grilled cheese, we can just like have that. Kids have grilled cheese. The big question. The big question. Did it actually work? Did the fan make all the difference? Was I able to process all those onions without a single tear? Well, the answer is yes. The only thing I experienced was stuffy nose. That's it. No runny eyes, no crying, nothing. So I will be definitely doing a lot of onions with this trick. And I do hope that if you try it and it works, please tell me in the comments below. I want to celebrate that little victory with you, because every time I tell someone that I processed 2 bags, 20 pounds of onions, they all told me I was crazy and I must have cried. And did I put goggles? Did I do this? Did I do that? Like all these tricks, but like all it took was a fan. So let me know.